right, I want to follow up looking at some regular expressions, and I found it helpful to go through these, but I'm going to try to do it quickly and try to not make it laborious. So anyway, I think they're helpful for both cleaning up data and then also replacing some regularly throughout the data. So first one, I'll look at some text.line. You can see I already looked at this. And this would be a cleaning up example. So that say something has several spaces and an even amount of spaces. So this is just one example. We'll run that. So one of the options to replace all the spaces with just one space. So we start off with what we want to search for, space and plus. Let you look for any number of whatever was right before it. So one or more of the spaces, we want to replace it with just one space. We want to look for some text.line. Let me see my syntax. We just want to make sure that it works with Perl, and let's run that. It looks pretty good down here, but I also, when I was testing this out, was trying one of the other regular expressions just to check it. So let's check it. I used grep for this since it was more of a search. And what I wanted to search for was any occurrence of a space 2 or more times. So I just close it off, don't put a space or anything. And, oops, I would have to put everything that's in there, so I'll just put this into a checking variable. And then I want to check it, and I'll go ahead and put everything just as though we're a larger data set, even though I know that it doesn't have any case that will be a concern, Perl, and I want to show the value. Oops. Let's see, so I want it, I already did check, that's why it found it, but I actually want to do it with this one. So I will run it, and it found none, so that shows me that it did not find any occurrences of 2 or more spaces. Let's see. So I started off on the bottom of page 81 if you're following along in the book, and now I'm on page 82. So the next one that I'll look at is an alternative for finding multiple spellings of color, but instead of doing a question mark after U for saying it could have a U or it could not have a U, it's limiting it more to saying it could have 0 U or it could have 1 U. And we're doing grep, so we're just searching. We already made colors before. I actually changed colors and added in an extra one that has too many U's, so I will show you that one. So it has American spelling, British spelling, and multiple U's. So we're doing grep to put everything on there. I will just copy those and run it. I must have misspelled something. Oh, I need to have, interesting. I'm surprised it didn't find it. Yeah, there must be something wrong. It's always the small thing. It looks like it's a space here. Let's see if that one works. Okay, that's what it should find. Whether it has 0 or whether it has 1, but it doesn't find it if it has 2. So another regular expression, looking at blocks of numbers, we will create, it's already there, but I will create it again since we're going along together. So doing a block of st, since that's something that we'll be looking at in the syntax, and then an st with a space. So this is just creating it. That should work. Look down there. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to do another grep. Oops, I don't need to do that. Another grep, and using the parentheses, st, we'll look at st as a unit, and then looking at that occurring 2 times or 3 times, right back to back, and looking in, oops, some vector. I could do ignore case, but it's the default, so I'm just going to make it easy on myself. So this would find only this one, but not that one. So just to see, since it's back to back, and it makes sense, that if there were a space inside here, so if it were treating all of that as a unit, st plus space, then it would find a different one. It would find this one. To find, to look at one more combination of expressions, we could do the period, which finds any character before t. Again, we don't have the space there, so it'll find this one. And there it finds it. Moving right along, another very useful expression is the or, so the vertical bar for or. We use gsub to see that. So looking at and first or second, so you can probably tell that we're going to go back and look at that original text. First or second. We want to replace that with another text. Ignore case. Pearl is true. Okay, because I had been working on this before, I had changed what was in text, so I'm going to run it again and make sure it has what I want to have in it. Let me just move this here. Okay, so now I'm going to run gsub, and we can see what it was. A first, change it to another. A second, it changed it to another. Another useful substitution with the or, looking at, say, vowels, A, E, I, O, U. Suppose we wanted to replace that with a capital V to show that it didn't matter which vowel, but it was a vowel. And we haven't changed text, so it stays the same. Lowercase, Pearl is true. We'll run that. We can see how every vowel has been replaced with a V. And another way to accomplish that same thing is with the square bracket. Oh, that's interesting. You can highlight it and just put the square bracket around it. Is to make a set of letters, and you could do numbers also, and it will search for everything in the set and replace it with B. So again, text is still the same, we haven't changed it, but it has replaced all the same as when we did the or statement. I had to look up a little bit to see how the square bracket was working, and Actually, the way I'm going to do that, this is to do this. So with the, if you start with a letter and then you dash, it's like doing A to that. And then if you do T to that, then it's looking in that range. So we can go ahead and do that and see how it replaces all of those that are in that range. It's worth noting that you can do an example of this, but I don't really want to take the time, and you can play with it on your own. But that if you take off the letter first, what he indicates is that the first one would be treated as an actual dash and search for it as a dash. When I played with it myself, I found that the second one, when it's between letters, actually uses it like a between letters, so T to Z. I didn't actually try one to see how it would work with the dash, but you could try that yourself. I may later. Okay, so the very last one is to look how it would work with numbers, since it works with numbers the same. So if we gsub 3, oops, not brackets, can't type, into this string, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think I typed that, Perl, and then it replaces all of those in that range with 3. So the next one is some exercises, so I'll stop there and be back later.